Everyone's shooting me messages like, let's go, let's go. I look over, we're over here just chit-chatting about cosplays. And I look over to my chat and I got like 5 messages like, yo, let's go. All right, boys, here we go. Thank you so much for hanging out. We're going to get into game 1, so let's go. Let me set all this up. Rest, are you with me, buddy? Hey, bud, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in a long time. Doing good. Is this one of the first times you've casted, or have you casted before?
Red team's turn to ban.
Yeah, all that. Feel free to interject anytime. Would love to hear what you got. I always try to break down some of the plays, but I'm sure you can offer in some more insight for sure. All right, cool. Give me 1 second. I need to change it so that the stream can hear you. Bam. They got you now. Cool.
All right, sweet. What's up, guys?
All right. Have you seen either of these two teams play before?
No, I haven't.
I've seen S2D play, and they do pretty good. They definitely know their picks, their bans. It's just when it comes to executing, they needed a little work or some kind of synergy to go along. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of if they've worked on it since the last time I've seen them play.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they probably have.
And then the other team, I don't know if I've seen them play before, but what do you think of the bands that are coming out so far? Pretty standard ones, right?
Yeah, so far it's pretty standard.
Blue team's turn to ban.
And right, I'm assuming that we're either going to see a Violet ban coming up here shortly. They seem to, she seems to be one of the top picks, or if not, top bans. How do you feel about Velheim currently? Do you think that he's an overpowered mess, like most people kind of put him in that kind of basket, or do you think that he's manageable if he is picked?
I think Valheim with the Blitzblade is pretty strong. Like, he can be manageable, but if he snowballs early game, he'll just get out of control.
Yeah, I agree. Especially in a lane that's normally usually a melee champion. Going up against a Velheim definitely has that range to really abuse the top.
Yeah, he can bully melee heroes pretty hard in lane. We're gonna leave Violet open.
Yeah, it looks like that is the case. I do agree that out of the two, if I was either gonna deal with the Violet or deal with a Arum, I'd rather not have an Arum in the game.
Alright. No, man, Violet's just, once she gets 1 or 2 items, or not 1 or 2, like 2 or 3 items, she's just ridiculous with all of her poke.
Yeah, I agree. She definitely. I'm just really surprised that they haven't toned her down in like a hot fix or anything like that.
That's it. Doesn't seem to like to do hot fixes on NA with the work bug that went on for like 2 months too. So.
R.I.P. Rourke.
Oh man, I'm so glad that's no longer a thing.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone is. But Violet getting picked up for the blue team, and now we got Crushed. I'm liking where Crushed is at this point. I think it's. I mean, what? Did we just see Omega just picked? Hang on a second. Hold the phone. What?
Huh.
Okay.
So
Well,
very early time to pick them. I think if you're going to try to run Omega, you should like do it near the end.
I see, and that's what I was saying is that a lot of times when people pick these champions, they go for these early, like you could easily pick someone better than Omega last and in place of that, got a Malik if you wanted it, or got someone else that potentially got picked by this blue team. I always find that so interesting when people are picking instead of swapping out and doing things like that.
Yeah, it's definitely
to pick.
an interesting choice by them. Huh. The Malik and Omen, I like that a lot. Those are both really strong side laners right now. And the Malik works really well with the Violet with his ultimate.
Yeah, he's definitely the person you have to deal with, but at the same time, if you're dealing with him, Violet's running amok around your team.
Yeah, they have a pretty good tower siege right now with the Violet and Omen, and Malik just ulting underneath that tower as well. So,
yep, definitely.
if they're able to do that.
I think it's interesting the current meta of the mid lane. It started off being just Crixie, no matter what, every game Crixie, but I've definitely seen her. In this tournament, the PVL, and also the NTG one that we did just the other day, I rarely saw Crixie, and I don't understand. She's still a strong champion, but I don't know what shifted that.
No, it was just like a slight nerf to her in the last patch. I think Liliana is probably the best mage. I don't know, mage right now and supports are just so well balanced that right now it's mostly all about matchups. It's not really just like one standout, this is what you got to get, which I really like right now.
Yeah, I completely agree. Definitely, I love playing support, and I really like where almost all of them are.
The Morin's a little bit interesting since Slims was open, but maybe he's just more comfortable on that hero.
Yeah, he's definitely. I feel like he's harder to kill, and maybe that's what he's going for, trying to keep the stacks up.
Yeah, I like the Alice with the Malak and Liliana.
Yeah,
they have a really good draft going for them.
Looks like they're going to be going for the Malice combo that everyone seems to be a patented thing that people like to go with.
Wonder what they're gonna go. They're missing either a support or a dragon side laner. Depends on how they flex that crash.
You don't think the Omega would be more of a in that support role?
No. Omega, he was played twice at Worlds, and both times he was utilized to split push and stop and cut all the waves so they couldn't push into their towers.
Mm-hmm.
And he had success one game at Worlds since the other team was basically no damage at all, and he was able to just cut all those waves and they weren't able to kill him. Astrid. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be that crash support, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen Omega like that many times to really know how to utilize him in a team, so that's where it's good we have you around. You definitely know.
Yeah, I mean, he could be played as a support, but his CC is just really easy to dodge.
One thing to note out of all the bans that have been coming out in yesterday and also the day before is that Chugnar seems to be the number one next to Aram ban. Like I just feel like those two are just guaranteed bans.
Yeah, Chugnar is really strong in competitive play with his ultimate after they gave that buff. I definitely think the left side won this draft, though.
We will definitely get to see. But yeah, what I'll probably be doing is just to split up everything. I'll try to cast as best I can, and then if you got anything that you want to put your input in, or I'll probably be asking you questions, and then we can kind of do that if that works for you.
Yeah, works well for me.
Cool. Good deal. Appreciate you coming in and hanging out. I really do.
Yeah, no problem. It's fun to come out here. I didn't know I was going to be casting. I thought I was going to be doing like more of an aftermatch analysis guy or thing, but it's all right. I guess I'll give this a shot.
Hey, why not? Yeah, if you're not comfortable with it, we can switch it next game.
engage.
You're probably going to hear me talking in your ear quite a bit, because otherwise I feel like, I don't know if I want to mute it and then that way. But I think I'll just keep it this way if that's all right with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. But starting off, it looks like they are both getting their perspective buffs, which is no invades, no even attempts, and they're just kind of double checking to make sure that neither are going into their jungle. But it looks like Alice is getting a little interested to see where they are starting. Seeing that Morin started over on the red side, that gives a lot of information down to the Malik on bottom. Omega is kind of roaming around. Looks like maybe just offering some support since they saw the Alice. And look at this owl up on top, sitting at half-life, and it's going to start to regen here, and both of them are sitting there staring at it, and it finally resets. The action is definitely more passive than I've seen in a lot of games. They're all playing very careful. No one is under even 90% life from what it seems like, other than Violet. He's been in the jungle, and we got a gank actually going down on Crest on bottom, but an excellent flicker, and he got out of that position. Dragon is going to be up in 20 seconds. They're going to be looking. Look at where this Morin is. He's just finishing up his jungle. Violet was able to clear really quickly. Why do you think that was? Is Morin just a slower jungle, or do you think that he was just taking his time?
Yeah, Morin is very, very weak level 1. And I think that they should have gone ahead and invaded their blue buff at the start of this game with the Violet and Malak. They would have destroyed that Morin.
We got some action on bottom, and Omega was the first one that was taken out there. A 4-man gank on bottom was what helped that out. Crixie doing a great job stunning 3 of them, but is easily going to get away, and this blue team is looking to get this dragon. So excellent push by the blue team. This is what I was talking about. Anytime the dragons spawn, it seems like that's when the team fights are about to happen and things are about to go down. Blue team picking up the dragon, and the red team is now backing off. Crash actually needs to be a little careful down on bottom now. That's dead. Look at them. They are looking to try to gank him, and he may... No, he's a little too tanky. He's going to easily get away. And look at the red team having to react because Crush was overextended. Kind of a misplay there. What do you think of this this matchup up on top, this Omen and Astrid?
You definitely don't see much Astrid's, but she's kind of a tanky hero, and I think kind of even matchup currently, and it probably will be throughout the whole game, just because Astrid's able to sustain through a lot of Omen's attacks, as you can see here.
Yep, and here comes Morin to offer some support, but Omen was able to get away. I don't know what it is about Astrid's kit that just doesn't make her one of the top kind of champions. Is it just the damage output? I feel like she's so strong as far as all of her abilities. I think they work really well with each other.
It's just her damage output, as well as when she ults, it's very easy to dodge it most of the time, and she comes really, really slow.
Yeah, it does take quite a while for that to warm up. Omega's actually going to run right into Omen. They are going to just quickly bypass each other. Nothing too exciting happening there. We look to mid. We got 4 people in mid looking to take the blue buff. If executed well, they should be able to pick up these kills, and they're not really initiating. They're actually looking to focus more on that blue buff. Crest is running straight to his tower and should be able to get away. Ooh, if we look, actually Omega is pushing this top lane with 2 other of his other teammates, and we're able to execute that pretty well. A lot of resources to get that, but in the meantime, bottom getting initiated on. There's 4 down there, only 2 of the red team. And they're looking to, as well, try to take out this tower, but Crash is taking so much damage, and sure enough, Malik jumping in with the ult, and Crash is going to go down with this tower in just a matter of time. And here comes the rest of the red team. Morin throwing out his ult, trying his best. Astrid throwing out her ult, but just whiffs the entire team. We got the red team needing to back away. Omega is down. Crixie is so close, but in the fray was Astrid, and she's down as well. Oh, and Morin might actually die here if he gets hit by that, and sure enough, he's going to. And there it is. A 4 for nothing exchange. Wow.
I really like how they went and pushed that mid tower right away, and as well as the dragon right after that fight.
Yeah, picking up those dragons are so good. Early game, it is worth almost what, 2.5 kills or something along those lines.
Oh yeah, I think it's somewhere around there.
Such a great thing. But right now, it is 6-0 as far as kills. The gold difference is very much in the blue team's favor. And this red team just, I don't know what they do at this point. I think they really need to utilize Omega, but they need to take probably this this bottom tower. Mid is very easy to rotate to, so I think they really need to start focusing on that. But looks like they're trying to make some plays here in mid. We have 4 heroes in mid. Astrid up on top by herself. Blue team reacting to this. We got all 5 of them in there, and Crixie getting ulted by Omen. Omen is actually getting taken out. Crixie taken down in the fray. Alice down as well. And now look at this. The red team is possibly turning this around. They're trying to dive this tower, and I think that's kind of a mistake. And there goes Liliana through that, and here comes Violet coming in to try to finish off Crash, which she does beautifully. And now Astrid is the next target. And sure enough, Morin gets crit and is just devastated by that. And will Malik be able to finish it off? But he is not. Wow.
Man, Violet's splash damage.
Yes, so strong. It was they did a great job splitting up. She could only take out one, but man, I really disagree with them initiating on that tower.
Yeah, I think they had a good team fight up until where they everything thought they could do them and kept chasing on that tower.
We got some initiation down on bottom, and it looks like they are just trying to throw out as much damage as they can. They're trying to get to that Crixie, but instead throw some damage out to Crash instead. Liliana is doing excellent with those stuns, setting up Violet for the combos, and sure enough, takes it down Morin in the process. This tower is going down. This is definitely going to be a high ground tower if this Astrid does not get back here. Sure enough, Violet's already starting at it. We got Crixie's ult coming out, but just not hitting anybody. She's very scared to get in there. Malik jumping in with the big boy ult, and he's so close to killing that Crash, but he's not going to. Here comes Astrid finally in the fray, but she is going to get taken down so quickly. And Liliana flickering away with just barely no life, and it's looking good. So a high ground tower taken 8 minutes in. This game is very much in this blue team's favor. This Violet is level 12. That is crazy right now.
Yeah, this Violet's just melting right through everyone on the enemy team at this point.
She has 4 completed items. Morin is still working on his 3rd item right now. She is level 13. Morin is just about to hit level 11, but just a moment ago he was level 8. So he's made some pretty drastic improvements there. Omen actually up on top is trying to ult, but look at this. He is completely caught out, but all of a sudden Astrid's now in the fray, trying her best to stay alive, but now is taken out. Omega just tries to ult in and just is melted by this Violet. Completely melted. Violet mistakenly hits Crest instead of the Morin, but it doesn't matter. Morin is taken out regardless. Now Crest is getting hit on by Liliana and this Omen, and he is going to get taken out here too. Oh wow,
man,
he actually might die. Oh my god, he still isn't dead. Oh my god, he's gonna live. Wow, Dual Spirits really missed his one combo on Crest, which gave Crest just enough hair of a life to live there.
A red team tower has been destroyed.
What do you think of these rotations by this blue team? I mean, Omen was up top, hitting on who was that? Astrid, I believe, or Crixie. I can't remember at this time, but the entire blue team was up there in seconds, and the red team was the closest ones to it, and it just didn't get there quickly enough.
Yeah, I definitely have liked blue team's rotation for a majority of the game. Last fight, they took a little bit risky of a fight with the Malak split pushing and the Omen in the team fight, which usually you would have wanted the Omen be split pushing since you can take the towers with the Malak in there.
Oh my goodness.
Or
Morin just gets destroyed, walks straight towards the entire team sitting in one bush and is melted. Best way to
and
put
they
it.
get to pick on Omen in the top. Oh, there's a little fight break now.
Yeah, Astrid actually went in with her ult, but that is Omega again just getting killed, and this is going to be the rest of the team. Malik jumping in like Batman, coming in, throwing out the big damage, and look at that. Every time Malik swings, Crush life just drops. But looks like they were able to get quite a bit. Violet was not even in that fight, was pushing bottom and is doing a great job. They might be able to finish it off here. Crixie and Crush really need to get there and support. Violet rolling forward might have been a mistake, running right into Morin's ult, but she comes out with just over half life. Crixie doing a great job, able to take out the Liliana with the skill. So Crixie's actually starting to do quite a bit of damage. So at this point in the game, if you're the blue team and you want to close out this game, what do? Do you play it safe, go for the Dark Slayer, or do you try to push these towers while the team is still down and separated in that moment or in that time where they're respawning, coming back, respawning, coming back?
You move Omen down to the bottom lane since the Dark Slayer is up, and you want Malik in the team fights, as well as if they put all 5 up there to stop you from getting the Dark Slayer, you could potentially have a pretty easily backdoor.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's a great idea for sure. And it looks like that's what they're doing. They got Omen pushing up on top. Malik is right there in the team fights. It looks like they're waiting for their Liliana to come back. And sure enough, here they come. Violet's ult missing everybody at that point. Alice coming in. Malik coming in as well. The malice is real. And sure enough, Omega's trying their best. And oh, the Liliana orb just comes in. Was able to hit everybody with that. And the red team is dying off one at a time at this point. Kresh is the lone survivor at this point with the Crixie right behind him. And the entire red team is basically taken out. Crixie's going to be the only one at this point that's going to be able to defend this. Both high ground towers are easily going to be taken, and this should be the game. Sure enough. So, is it safe to say that Violet might get a ban next game?
Yeah, Violet's just such a broken hero, especially on the team play where she gets the peel that she needs to just be able to poke.
What do you think some of the better plays of that game were? Look at that, 11-1 on Violet.
Wow. I really liked the play where they were sieging that top lane tower, and the Violet was just able to poke everyone through the Pierce on our first ability on the tower as well as the heroes, and so they eventually had to back off and Malik ulted them as well.
Yeah, yep. Very good stuff. If we're looking at stats, Liliana actually came up with the most damage out of that blue team, coming up with 32, but right behind it is that Violet. So Liliana was still just putting in as much work as that Violet, and I don't know if it was towards the end or what, but man, really good. And look at this over on the red side. Crixie did 43% of the damage. I feel like you know that there's something wrong with your team comp when that is an obvious factor, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the Morin just got shut down super hard, so he wasn't ever able to get the gold. And he also had some positioning issues in the team fights where it was just very easy for Violet to immediately poke him or him just to get stunned and jumped on by everyone.
Yeah, I agree. And then, what do you think of the Blitzblade on the Omen? I've seen this. I've seen people try to do this in other matches, and I'm always curious to know if it's really worth it or not.
I personally am not the biggest fan of it. I think Muramasa works better on Omen with the Fafnir, but everyone has their own play styles, and different things work for different people.
I agree, and we are ready for the next game. We just need to get you in here, and there you are. And I think we are ready. Let's do. And look at that. I think we are good to go. That's one of the quickest little remakes I've ever seen. That's awesome.
Yeah, that definitely is pretty quick.
It looks like they're just taking their time, so we'll just give them a moment here.
Blue team's turn
All
to
right.
ban.
And here we go. So, coming off that loss, what does S2D do differently? What do you think? What is some advice that if you could talk to them directly that you'd give them?
I think they just need to draft a little bit better. They might also not own a bunch of heroes each individually, so that they were just picking heroes that they needed. And I think that they should go a support that's a little bit more meta than Omega.
Yeah. The metas are a thing.
Red
There's a
team's
reason
turn
for
to
it, that's for
ban.
sure. And sure enough, already with the Chugnar and the Felheims, pretty obvious
Blue
bans
team's
coming out.
turn to ban.
I'm gonna be really surprised if they don't ban out Violet. Violet seems to be the bane of their existence that last game, and was able to do so much work towards them. That
Well, they are the first pick this game, so maybe they try to let it go through and then first pick it themselves.
Red
yeah,
team's
I like that
turn
strategy
to
as well,
ban.
for sure.
Blue team's turn to ban.
Yeah, I don't know what so say if they don't get Violet for this red team. I'm trying to think of what they need to do, because they obviously had a great combo with everything. And there is the Violet ban.
Red team's
Sure
turn
enough,
to
the
ban.
thing that we've been waiting for. But knowing that they don't get Violet, do you think that they'll still pick similar heroes, or do you think that they'll maybe change up their roster?
I think it should be pretty similar. This is a best of 3, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So usually, if something works in the first game, you'll try to run it again, unless the other team changes what they're doing by a lot. Because there's always a third game where if it doesn't work the second time, you can just switch it up then.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking, is what they're going to do. And it looks like they're going with the
Red
Irie.
team's turn
Irie's
to ban.
such a strong hero at this point. I feel like she's in a really good spot, exactly where she needs to be. Before, I felt like she was a little weak, and right now she's very strong, but I don't know if she's worth like nerfing at a point. I don't know. I like that she's that strong. I feel like that's exactly kind of where she needs to be, but what are your thoughts?
I think she's a little bit overpowered. But,
Yeah.
and I've heard that they're nerfing her in the next patch. Nothing's really certain yet.
I'm assuming it's so. Does Roxy pick up though? So Roxy's more than likely, let's say, gonna go against the Irie. How do you feel about that match?
Blue team's turn to pick.
I feel like that's a pretty good matchup for the Roxy, because she's way too tanky for Ari to ever kill, and Ari's gonna stay squishy throughout a whole early game, as her build doesn't build magic resistance. So should be a pretty good matchup for the Roxy.
Right on. Slim's obvious, such a great jungler,
team's
and
turn
then
to pick.
the answer to that, I'm wondering what they're gonna go for. So Velheim, Lindis, and Violet all banned out. Mina, I do like Mina. She's really strong right now. with her tank abilities. But I want to see who their jungler is going to be on this red side.
Yeah, Mina is extremely strong right now, especially if Jugnar's banned. You can commonly see her as the first pick if Jugnar's taken away in other regions.
We saw a very crazy game. What was it? On Monday? No, Tuesday. The NTG, what was it? Semifinals, where they had a Mina on their team, and the Mina literally won them the game, which was, I mean, it was crazy. Flickered in, was able to grab the two damage dealers on the team and ulted, and then that was it. And it was a good, long, like 30-minute plus game. It was crazy.
Yeah, Mina can change the game a lot just by a flicker ultimate or a flicker pull.
Mm-hmm. Liliana being picked up as well on this red side, so it looks like they are going to continue that Liliana thing. And they're really going to go for this again. Oh my goodness. They really have a strategy behind this. And I felt like he was the weakest link on their team. I mean, would you agree?
Yeah, I definitely don't feel like the Omega had any impact that whole last game, so I'm not sure why they wanted to do it again. But maybe they think it'll work better with the Natalia.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I feel like it's not their hero pool, but it's more of maybe a personal preference. Maybe that person likes that hero. They normally do well with them. I don't even know. Or maybe they do have this synergy that they really like.
Yeah, I guess maybe they're just trying to get a huge CC comp to build around the Natalia.
Yeah.
But I would have rather seen a Lumber or something like that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. All right, so we got some swapping coming out and on both sides. Rourke being picked up. How do you feel about Rourke being at the point it is right now? I feel like he's still very strong, but I mean, obviously he's better now that he can't blow up towers. But do you think that he's at a good spot?
Yeah, I feel like if you play him into the right comps, he can be really strong. On this one, I'm kind of iffy on the work, but maybe it's just his most comfortable hero since all the majority of the ADCs were banned. So
yeah, we did see him cycle through like a Zephys and a Cricknack, and I think one of those heroes would have definitely been maybe a better choice, but landed on Rourke, and I'm trying to figure out who they're trying to look at who they want to use Rourke against. Is it the Arduin? Normally he does really good at like shredding tanks and also squishy heroes, basically anything that gets in his way. But him being so easy to kill as well without his ult up, I think that Natalia, Irie, and Slims might be able to get him without like a Mina or something like that being around.
yeah, maybe it was for. I guess they have lots of CC on their team, so Rourke's ult could be very useful. But I think he's just going to struggle to get onto that back line to kill the Slims or Natalia.
Yeah, I think someone like a Cricknack would have been able to get back there and do it, but maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure. Well, we're about to find out. So here is game number 2. S2D really needs to win this in order to stay in this. It's best of 3. This will be game 2. Red team has one game up. And sure enough, the entire red team, look at this, rotating over to their red side. And they're going to be able to take this. And look at this. There's no vision. There's no vision at all. Here comes the Omega is going to run right into 3 of the heroes. Luckily, Irie was there. But the red buff is stolen. So at this point, if you're the blue team, you really need to focus on... Oh my gosh, the Slims is actually too busy messing with Roxy to even have started on any of their... starting on his blue buff. And if you're blue at this point, you really miss the opportunity to go get that red. Rourke already pretty close to finishing the blue. Slims is on his way, and really Slims doesn't have much to go and get at this point. Omega trends.
It's just the reason why they weren't able to go and invade red team's red buff was because of the Roxy, and it's just kind of hard to move past Roxy with how tanky she is level 1 and the damage that you'll get from following her. And it was just risky to start that blue buff with her having punish as well. It's kind of an annoying hero level 1.
Yeah, I agree. But Slims does, or I'm sorry, not Slims. Rourke does end up with both of the buffs, which is nice for red. We got an initiation onto Mina. It looks like stuns are coming out. Liliana came down and actually was able to stun 2 to 3 people with her stun there. Arduin coming down as well. Big stun coming up. Omega coming in trying to stun Malak. And I guess that's what this team's going for. There's stuns all over the place. Natalia throwing out her skills. And another good stun, but it's just not enough. All these stuns, but no damage. Irie was all the way on bottom and never came up to help.
And the Slims was farming jungle, so it just seems like a little bit of team miscommunication.
Yeah, I completely agree. Slims was at least, I think, threw out a spear or somewhat, but Irie actually might be. Oh, she's not level 4. Won't be able to pick this up. Still just short of the experience. And that is definitely a team communication issue, I'd have to say. Irie definitely, especially being Irie. If it was any other hero, it could have been like, oh, well, we'll make it in time. Trying to decide if running up there is worth it or not. But Irie being able to just get all over the map, should have had no problem getting there.
Probably getting a little bit of poke on that mid trade. Ooh.
Oh, and actually, Liliana killing out Natalia there mid, and sure enough, Malak coming in, gonna get stunned. Mina jumping in, making sure that she is taken out, and this red team is gonna back out there. So it is a 4-0. So already, this blue team is having this game run away from them, and Omega just really isn't a factor again. I mean, just like what Chad is saying, is that he was the first blood both games, and I just don't think that he has what it takes in this current meta to be kind of viable, unless he's not using the right runes or something along those lines. And even his boots, he's going with the quick boots to try to maybe be a roaming support. But look, no one on the blue side has even the support item.
Yeah, I think Omega just needs a few different changes to his kit to become a little bit more meta, and there's just other supports that could offer so much more for the team, so there's not really a reason to go Omega.
Do you think the support item is a must for a team? I feel like one person definitely needs to get it, especially the tanky one. It's so good. Oh,
yeah, so the wind is extremely important. That was a pretty good combo by them with the Natalia Omega, keeping them still locked up.
But again, Omega doesn't know when to back out and ends up staying in a little too long. Liliana comes in and was able to finish off the kills with the Rourke. Another thing that was interesting about that fight is that we didn't see any rotations from the other lanes. Slims is now initiating onto Malak, and Malak is taking all of this damage. Look at him go. Might be able to turn this around if he has one more teammate, but the execute comes in and finishes him off. Rourke coming in, almost finishes off Slims, but Rourke was able to scare them away. And Liliana's actually going to run right into Irie here in the bush, but she was able to see it, throws out a stun, gets a little bit of damage, and is backing away.
Oh, Arduin brought punish this game.
Oh, Irie missing the ult on the Liliana would have been a big ult to have. Ooh, Natalia actually throwing out her stun and ult, and there is Mina getting taken out. I think that's the second time she's been taken out by that Natalia. So she's playing.
That's one of the issues with Mina. It's basically all or nothing with her. She doesn't have much mobility, so as soon as you're in there, kind of gonna be in there no matter what.
Yep, I agree. As soon as there's not much you can do. And look at this. Omega is trying his best to disable the tower, but there's no creeps that were near the tower. So he really didn't do much damage, but now that they are here, he's trying to tank it, and ooh, almost gets taken out. Luckily, they were able to pick that off. So not a well-oiled machine on this blue side, but they are able to get some things going. We have a question in chat for you. When the action dies down, give me a moment. It looks like the red team is going up for this top tower, and blue team's just not able to get there fast enough before it's done. And look at it looks like four-man rotations to try to save that tower, but just really weren't able to get there, so they kind of just wasted their time. Liliana landing a great combo there, but Natalia does throw out her ult a little premature, knowing that this team is still probably in the mid, and sure enough, she doesn't have her ult, and what a perfect time it would be. We got ults coming out from every single person. Malik is almost dead. Natalia missing her skill on the Malik, and he is going to be able to get away if he chooses to. Coming back in, throwing out the swing, and they get the kill. Slim's missing the spear on the Malik and the Rourke, and wow, I cannot believe that. Only Mina perished in that fight. So that was a 2-for-1 trade there, and Slims goes straight for the jungle, or straight for the dragon. And it looks like Liliana is able to see this, and Slim should be able to pick this up, and he does. Luckily has his punish ability.
Alright, and so Maganga isn't really meta as a support just because he offers very little CC besides his slow on his first ability, and I'd much rather just have someone like a Mina who's able to pull the enemies in that are either like you're trying to pull them to engage or pull them off your carries. Oh, that was like going on.
Yep, and it looks like Irie was caught out there by the Mina and ulted, but Irie was able to get out of that situation with the ult. We got Malik coming in, trying to catch that Natalia. Natalia throwing out skills, but is getting slowed by I believe the Aegis that is on Malik. But
yeah, I'd like to see this Natalia Saber combo for a little bit more of a squishy target instead of blowing it on the Mina every single time.
Yeah, it really does seem that. Ooh, and look at that. Arduin actually caught out there by the Rourke and the Liliana, and is just shredded to death.
And Roxy almost killed the Sims too by hiding in the blue buff bush, but there's no one else to follow up with the Roxy, so he's able to get out alive.
This is where we're gonna probably see that Natalia ult here soon. Oh, Mina was able to ult Slims and pull him in, and Rourke was trying to follow up, but decided to go for the Omega instead. Slim's playing a dangerous game here, and luckily was able to hop away. But look at where Irie is. She was too little too late to be in that fight, and at this point, if she does go in, she only has 2 other teammates to follow up with her. I feel like Irie just not getting the right rotations, or not getting there quick enough. I'm really not sure how I feel about that.
I think Ari just needs to be a little bit more patient and try flanking the enemy team so she can get onto that Liliana after her dashes are down.
I agree with that.
Malak getting caught out,
Yep.
ulted in for no one else to follow up on him.
Yep, and that Natalia just absolutely shreds these tanks on this team. So I gotta say that that's doing real well. Slim's throwing the spear, does not connect. Arduin did a great job jumping in, but the team just wasn't able. And look at this, Omega trying his best to get this tower down as well, do some damage to these enemies. But look at this, the whole back line, and this is kind of what we're talking about. The whole back line is just getting absolutely destroyed by Rourke. Finally, Natalia's taken out, and same with Rourke, but it looks like Arduin is gonna pay the price for that, and is now getting killed. And look, finally, Irie showing up. Will she be able to kill this Liliana? And sure enough, she is. But I don't know if she's going to be able to get out of this. Her dash should be up, and it looks like the red team is already deciding to let her get away.
This game's a lot closer than the last.
Yeah, if we take a look at gold, the blue team made a huge, or I'm sorry, yeah, the blue team is finally making a big return just within the last just minute. So that last fight really swung the gold back in the favor for them. Then I think the next person that gets either a damage or I'm sorry, the dragon or the dark slayer is really gonna go to town. All right.
Yeah, sorry my mic's so ugly. There's no furniture in my living room.
Oh, you're good, buddy. No big deal. Appreciate you having you. No furniture? You need to get us some furniture.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it.
Oh, I feel you. I have a TV and I don't even use it. We got a big fight coming out, and sure enough, there's ults going out all over the place. Mina actually was able to try to grab the slims, I believe, there, but oh my gosh, Natalia did such a great ult, shredded the entire team, but they are still up at this point, and there's only Roxy and Arduin and Natalia left over at this point. And I don't think that they're going to be able to take out this Roxy, but they are sure deciding to pursue. And what a great ult there by Natalia. And Natalia actually having it up and has aced the team. Oh my god, that just literally put them back in this game. They are now ahead in gold. And that is what we're talking about. This team needs to push these lanes as much as possible and get these towers. It looks like they may actually try to go for the Enraged Abyssal Dragon and get this buff. But the entire team just respawned. 4 members of the red team are up and in hot pursuit. Slim's finally getting to the Abyssal Dragon. They will be able to pick this up really quickly. But who is going to get the buff? And it looks like it is going to be Slims, which is a great choice. That ult was something else. I cannot believe that. That Natalia ult just completely shredded the enemy team. I think they're going to have to pay more attention to this Natalia, who right now has been around, what, 10 of the kills? Irie has been around the kills, is 2-1. I got to give her more credit than I was before, and I don't know if that's just in the last couple minutes or not, but it seems like that's the case, and sure, they are picking up the Sentinel, getting that quick 30 gold per person. So what do you think that this red team needs to do differently? Do you think that they should keep focusing the Slims, maybe going for the Natalia?
I think if they can get to the Sims, they should go and kill him. But definitely with that Natalia, Natalia's just been sitting so far back every single team fight, just waiting patiently now and using the ults when she should be, instead of just blowing it right on Mina.
Yep. I definitely do like the 2 tanks that are up in front. They have to deal. They feel like they have to deal with the Arduin and the Omega before they can like really pass through them. And I think that's what's really given this Natalia a chance to really shine in the back line. And look at the positioning of Natalia, doing really well. I gotta say, like, there's 3 heroes in between her and the enemy team, but it looks like they are actually gonna try to flank this team and see what's happened. But look at Natalia doing a great job, but is gonna get caught out here, and they are going for the Slims. Mina ulting in on the Irie and the Slims, and we have Malik coming in, dropping in like Batman, and Natalia in the back line throwing out so much damage, and Rourke coming in, and Natalia throwing out a skill onto Rourke, but missing. While that's going on, Arduin is in the middle with that Omega, trying their best to keep this team in the game. Irie coming in with the ult, doing such a great job, able to pick up another kill, and it is a 2-on-2. Irie is going to get shredded here by this Rourke if she's not careful. Natalia does now see where the 2 heroes are. Wow. I gotta give it to this Natalia. She's single-handedly, as far as damage is considered, keeping them in the game.
Yeah, she's constantly just sitting super far back down, waiting, being patient for that Malik ult to go in, and then just ulting. So when the team shows the follow up on it, they just all get mowed down by it.
Yeah. is doing really well. So at this point, red team, what do? Do you try to pick off one person, go for the Dark Slayer? Do you try to farm up some more? I don't know what the red team has been doing wrong that they all of a sudden started doing wrong, I guess.
I think that Mina's just engaging a little bit early when she's flickering in or pulling in the enemy carries and taunting. There's just no one else to really follow up on it. So maybe just be a little bit more patient on that. Looks like there's a little bit of a fight going on bottom. Sun's actually going to die. Roxy's winning the 2v1.
Yeah, and sure enough, you are right on that. Roxy was able to take that out, and looks like the red team actually is now going for the Dark Slayer. Dark Slayer is picked up by the Rourke. Omega in the middle of everything and is going to get taken out in the process. So that quickly went south for this blue team. Already, they weren't grouped, and they are winning every team fight that they're coming across. But the parts that they're losing is when they just get caught out like that. Rourke picking up the Eternal Blade, so he's going to be needed to be killed twice, which is going to be lovely for this red team, especially with that Natalia that's in the back line that's thrown out all those abilities. Her ult does have a low cooldown, but to kill Rourke twice is definitely going to be a task.
Yeah, for sure.
You can see Rourke playing a little aggressive, was in the bush, saw the Slims, and charged in fearlessly, knowing that he could come back up. But Natalia throwing out some abilities in mid, trying her best. And, oh, this is such a great spot. She actually throws the stun in the wrong direction. Tried to hit the Malik with it instead, and look at this, Rourke going straight in on Natalia. Natalia was able to stay alive and throws out the ult and shreds the other team. Malik was able to jump in, but a little too late, and that is going to be him going down as well. And now Roxy and Liliana are running away, but Liliana is doing a great job while retreating, throwing out those stuns and damage. And this entire blue team is up at this point. Looks like they are trying to initiate onto this Liliana, but Duel is doing such a great job staying away at this point. Looks like
this is like one of the issues that I think I have with Roxy is that if you just look at the red side's comp, they have no one that can really dive onto the Natalia through that whole back line or flank. And I think that they should have gone an assassin like Scud instead.
Yeah, I agree with you. Look at this, Roxy trying to be taken out. Sure enough, Slims was able to finish it off, but Natalia doing, I would say, 80 or 90% of that damage with her two skills. Omega doing his thing, disabling the tower, and just, and again, Natalia shredding that Mina before she even had a chance to do anything. This Natalia is winning this game for them. That ult is just so devastating every time. She has max cooldown from what it looks like, and also has the tomb to stop the heals as well. And that's got to be for that Roxy. So sure enough, they pick up the the enraged Dark Slayer, and that thing got melted.
Oh, it was very quick.
I'm really not sure what is it. Just the Slims and the Natalia? Irie wasn't even there. I guess,
it was, the Omega, Arduin, Natalia.
Yeah, I guess all of them attacking it all at once. Wow. All right, so I really think that this red team, at this point... Oh, actually finds out Slims, and Slims, luckily, having the Dark Slayer, or I'm sorry, the Dark buff, was able to get out of that situation. He literally died and came back to life because of that buff. And he is very thankful he was able to pick that up. But very big misplay. He didn't need to be that aggressive in their jungle. That's kind of getting greedy as far as what you want. And especially when you're maxed out as far as items. I mean, you can sell your boots at this point. But he really needs to stick with his team. And look at what he's doing. He's getting set up to try to take out this Roxy. Roxy does need to be taken out twice in order to be killed because she has that Eternal Blade. And look at this, Roxy being very quiet. Oh no, Duel actually used his ability that makes him immune in the process. He really must have accidentally clicked it. And sure enough, we got a team fight going on, and Omega is pulled straight into the fray. The entire team, and oh my god, Liliana throws out her orb, hits Arduin, but just does nothing to him.
You gotta be careful because they have that work split pushing. Ari does get the back off.
So Irie was able to get back. Rourke trying his best to finish off this tower, and it looks like Irie is going to be able to chase him down, but he is able to get out of there. And if we go back over to this side, Liliana being taken out by this Natalia. So I think that I would... What do you think at this point? Do you think that you should keep giving Slims the blue buff? Do you think he needs it, or would you give it to someone more of the Natalia at this point? Say if gold isn't a factor. I feel like Natalia is the one that really needs to have this. Ooh, Flickers actually gets caught out at this point, and she is in a lot of trouble, and nothing but more heroes are coming. Irie just doesn't react. Was near the entire time. Could have went in and ulted, but just wasn't. Didn't do it.
This is when the red team should go ahead and try to find a good fight for them.
Look at this. They're taking out Darkslayer, and sure enough, Omega was able to pick that up. Darkslayer is going to be going to this blue team, and they really need to back off. They just got that. Everything's good. They really... I don't know if they realize how good Natalia's damage is at this point, but without it, I don't think they have a chance at a team fight.
No, that Natalia's definitely been carrying every single team fight, so they get engaged down here without the Natalia. Ooh, Slims.
Oh, and Slims is going to just get wrecked. He went right next to that bush and is just completely destroyed, and this is what we're talking about. This is not what this team wanted. Omega throwing out his ult, Malik coming in, Irie getting taken out just almost immediately, and that is what you did not want to have happen. That Slims is just being so aggressive in what he wants to, as far as farming. He really doesn't need it, and sure enough, that's what gets him killed in the end.
Yeah, he just needs to be a little bit more respectful of the bushes late game, and not just be face checking them when he has two tanks that could be doing that for him.
Yeah, especially with this late in the game, and not being around his team. He was went head first into that, and not a single teammate near him. The closest teammate was in mid, but I mean, that's such as far away, especially when you're Slims.
Yeah, so it looks like they're setting up another push here. Try to pick off someone again. And
the Great Dragon was summoned, and it's probably due to the having the buff for so long. And this red team is gonna need to, or it looks like they're gonna make a play here. Look at the position of this. They will easily be able to flank this team, and look at this, Irie nowhere near, and look at this blue team. They're really out of position here. They really need to be careful because this red team could be coming in at any moment. Omega trying his best, but looks like Natalia and Omega were taken out in that process. They are now focusing all they got on that Malik, but he is still up and kicking. They're chasing this red team down. I really thought that the red team was going to come up behind and get either a Slims or Natalia, but they just didn't. Oh my god, look at Rourke trying his best to finish off that Slims. Just wasn't able to, is again being pretty cocky with that Eternal Blade. And now he's going to need to go and heal. Slims being able to heal up. And now this high ground tower being taken out slowly by this Skyward Dragon. And yeah. Look at Roxy. Roxy coming up behind, sure enough, needs to grab that Slims and misses! She completely misses the damage that is so crazy from that Natalia. Just completely shreds the entire team, but they had the Eternal Blades. They are now back up and ready to go. Slims going down, Natalia being chased down, and she is going to go down here in just no time, and that could be what this red team needed in order to keep going. But look at the dragon. The dragon is now hitting the core, but luckily the minions are going to take it. And look at this, Rourke overextending and runs right into Arduin. And he is able to finish that off. Wow. I mean, I cannot believe this. This is crazy. This is so much back and forth. If we go to the stats here in just a second and we look at gold, I mean, it is fluctuating back and forth, I feel like. And right now, the red team is down, which, I mean, at this point, it really doesn't matter. But a thing to note is that this entire blue team all still have their boots. They have. I mean, at what point do you sell them and actually go with maybe more of more damaging items? Yeah, it's kind of pretty crazy. And Roxy actually picking up that the Dark Blessing, which is gonna give her so much to deal with. And Slims again out of position. Natalia trying her best to deal with Mina in the background. Slims actually is able to stay alive, and then Mina having to pop that skill. Arduin trying his best to finish off this Mina, or I'm sorry, this Roxy, and it's all for naught. And just the tank chasing the other tank, just really is a big misplay. Wasn't able to protect the Natalia or the Slims, and here comes Omega trying to throw out what he's got, but is just nothing at this point. So the entire red team is up. 3 of the blue team is down. And again, the Slims is just having such a hard time overextending and face checking bushes when he really needs to just hang out. He doesn't need any more farm. He's basically full on everything. And look at this. They're choosing to try to end this game. They're trying their best to try to finish off this creep. And sure enough, look at where Omega is. And he's all the way down on bottom. Such a great game. Ends in such a sad way. I really was hoping for a better ending than that. But man, S2D just had a little misplay that turned into a big one that they just weren't able to capitalize towards the end.
I think their biggest issues were just Slims constantly being caught out the whole game.
Yeah, Slims 4, 9, and 8 assists, and sure enough, like if we look at damage as well, oh my goodness, Slims only did 17% of the damage. Irie did 13. Arduin did 26% of the damage on their team. Not exactly what I thought I was going to see when I looked at these damage charts. But look at Duel. Duel with 40% of the damage on their team. Wow. He was the person that they needed to catch out, and that is the person that they needed to lock down for this blue team to hopefully win that game. What do you think of the build for this Natalia? Like, I mean, Tomb of the Reaper, obviously for the Roxy, but the Virtue Necklace? Question mark?
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of that Virtue Necklace. Not sure why it was built. I would much rather see like a boomstick in that build or something along that nature instead.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, but and also didn't max out cooldown either. Not that they need to, but I mean, I would have rather seen that as opposed to a Virtue Necklace. But I mean, crazy. If we look at the rest of the builds, I would have liked to see Omega actually switch to, instead of his boots, the swiftness ones, switch them out, because I really didn't feel like he needed them towards the end of the game.
Yeah, I forgot which ability is. I think it's the second one that gives him that shield and huge speed boost. At that point late in the game, it's going to be up almost every second. So the boots aren't as useful at that point in the game. And he definitely should have just sold it for something else.
Yep, I agree. Look at, I didn't even realize this duel actually went with Holy of Unholies twice.
Yeah, usually around the late game, mages, if they have extra gold, they'll start selling items and building a bunch of Holy of Holies. And the ADC will start just building a bunch of Fenrir.
Very good stuff. Do you see anything else in these builds that you want to maybe comment on?
Omega's build with Hayua's Edge is a little interesting, but mostly just that Virtue Necklace. I think he should have gone Sapphire Null or Boomstick instead for that late game damage.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, thanks for having me on the stream, man.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, anytime you wanna come back and do this, you let me know for sure. But I really do appreciate it. It's definitely different. I normally do this by myself, or like on occasion I'll have I think one other occasion I've had one person, so it's definitely a different concept for me. But I hope that you had a good time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun and it was something new to me. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do this again. See you guys.
All right, buddy. Have a good one. All right. Again, that was Rest. If you guys don't follow him, you guys should. He is pro player. Way too good. Way too good. All around awesome guy, and lacking the furniture in the living room. But so we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take a quick break real fast, and I'm gonna get some water, and then we will see if the teams are gonna be ready for the next game. So just stick with us, and I'll be right back.